Immigrants are poisoning the blood of America. When I heard those words, it was like a spear in my heart. I was raised on the border between San Diego and Tijuana. I still have a lot of family in Tijuana, with one foot in Mexico and the other foot in the United States. And I've seen the situations of the starving faces of people trying to cross the border, seeking a better life in the United States my whole life since I was a young child. And my thoughts and ideas for making El Norte come from a 6-year-old who saw this. And I think that's one of the things that makes the film so special, is because it has that perspective, as opposed to a historic perspective or a sociological perspective or a political perspective. It has that heart, you know? And when I heard those words that Trump said, and I saw that they made him more popular,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
it really broke my heart.
Yeah.
What has happened to our country?
Right.
You know? I mean, you look at the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. And what do we do today? You know? We rip families apart. We deport refugees to foreign countries where they're tortured. What do we think? Do we think that refugees come here because they want to? Nobody wants to leave their home. They come because they're being forced out by violence and by poverty. You know, and in El Norte, and Rosa says, perhaps only in death will we find a home. Very, very powerful words that resonate today as powerfully as they did 40 years ago when we made El Norte. We made this film for very little money. There's an intro that you're going to see that I gave, which I will talk a little bit more about the filming of the, how we filmed the film, and also some images of us making the film. But we had no money when we made this film. And it was made with 5 people. I was just out of film school, young and very brash, you know? And I wanted to do something new and different with this film, because everybody said to me, oh, you know, it's got to be gritty and grainy, and it has to be, you know, this, you know, kind of neo-realist kind of thing. And I said, I don't want to do that, right? I want to get rid of all that documentary stuff and all that kind of stuff. I want to tell a Latino story in a Latino way, our own way that we tell our stories that had not been brought to the screen at that time. And so I was very much influenced by the dream realist literature of Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Miguel Angel Asturias, and that was the style I wanted to bring to this film. So we had no money. We had 5 people in a Volkswagen van and 1 camera. But we said, look, you know, we're going to make a movie that's just as beautiful and just as spectacular and just as epic as any big Hollywood production, you know, Lawrence of Arabia. So this beautiful restoration that you're going to see that the Motion Picture Academy did of the film will show you how beautiful we did and what you can really accomplish with passion and love. You'll be seeing me talk more about our adventures in making this film, because we were almost killed making this film, and I had to face off with guys with machine guns in order to get this film done. But we overcame all the obstacles, and you'll see photographs of the lines around the block in New York and Los Angeles to see El Norte when it was released. And I just heard from the Music Hall Theater, where it played in Los Angeles for over a year, that is the longest running film in the history of the Music Hall Theater. And it was the #1 grossing limited release film of that year. It grossed more than Spinal Tap, it grossed more than Strangers in Paradise, it grossed more than any other film in limited release that year, and was, of course, the first independent film to be nominated for an Academy Award, and I'm the first Latinx filmmaker to be nominated for an Academy Award.
Yes.
But that is not the thing that I am most proud of. The impact that this film had at the time that it was released was so strong that the Mayan refugees that I worked with making the film and the various immigration groups mounted a campaign using this film to put pressure on the government of the United States to give protective status to the Mayan refugees who were suffering genocide in Guatemala, and they succeeded in achieving it and in getting refugee status for all refugees from Central America. So this film saved thousands of lives, and it changed the laws of the United States, which just goes to show that with passion and love, 5 people in a Volkswagen van with a camera can make a movie that saves lives and changes the laws of this country. So, please enjoy, and you'll see some wonderful intros here.
Yes, and
then the film.
afterwards,
Thank you.
remember we do have the conversation, and I forgot to ask, Paul, is anybody